Alright, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Austin back in another video. Alright guys, in today's video, we're doing 50 questions with a Howard University student. So today I'm here with...
Obiloy Good II.
Alright, could you give your Howard intro really quick?
Alright, so good morning or good afternoon, whatever. My name is Obiloy Good II. I'm a sophomore international business major from Middletown, Delaware.
Cool. So you say international business, you know what I'm saying? What made you get into that?
I didn't know what else I wanted to do, so international business it is. We might change the major, we're still figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. So you have would you say you have like an entrepreneurial kind of mindset coming into college?
Yes, for sure. In the past, I've had like different businesses that I've started then stopped. Currently, I've been a photographer for like 2 years, so that's definitely my current business. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm planning on maybe doing something with that in my minor.
I got you. So tell me more about the photography. So you've been doing it for 2 years. So like what kind of inspired you to, you know what I'm saying, get into photography?
So what inspired me was my junior year of high school. I had these two homegirls who were had been doing photography since they were like 6-year-olds. They were like best friends and stuff. And I just always watched them do their photography stuff. Then eventually they asked me to start modeling for them. Mm-hmm. And so I started modeling for them and it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I enjoyed the process. But then like over that summer, I started having ideas of my own. And I was like, yo, let me just get a camera. So I worked at Burger King, saved up, got a camera by November of 2019. Mm-hmm. And then that's when photography started.
Nice. So do you think being here at Howard has really I guess you expand upon that creative outlet for you?
No, honestly 100%. So from where I'm from, I was from Middletown, Delaware. There was only but so much. I feel like after a certain point, I just got stuck in a box. Mm-hmm. Just mind-wise, I wasn't able to create the way I wanted to. I mean, I didn't even have the skill to do that. Now that I've been at Howard, even if you just look at my timeline on my Instagram and the photos I took, mm-hmm. since I've been at Howard, I've improved exponentially.
No, facts. I've noticed.
I've improved exponentially. I don't know if it's DC. I know it's definitely the students here. The students, I'm linking up with so many different people, bouncing ideas off of each other, mm-hmm. going back. It's just I just love it here. You know what I mean? The whole environment, atmosphere just allows me to open. And then there's more opportunities here. I just walk on the street, some random person will come up, see me with the camera and be like, yo, I'm having this vendor event. Yeah. So there's more time to practice. There's more opportunity. It's just better.
Nah, I feel exactly what you're saying. I know coming here, initially I was just being around so many creative people. I'm not really into the creatives. I'm not really good at photography, but just seeing other people like you and other photographers, artists, models, just seeing that, I really appreciate that. And just to see y'all express yourselves in that manner is just really, this is really cool just to see how that helped you, man. So we're at Howard, right? Yes, HBCU. So what made you choose, you know what I'm saying, an HBCU, and then specifically, what made you choose Howard?
Okay. So let me see. HBCU. So my junior year of high school, I read the book, Autobiography, Malcolm X as Told by Alex Haley. Mm-hmm. So when I read that book, I don't know, I just really resonated with a lot of things Malcolm X was referring to, what he was speaking on. Mm-hmm. Even though that was in my life or how I grew up. Right. It was just I felt where he was coming from. So when I read Malcolm X, I got into other things, other black, civil rights leaders, and I just got into it. And I had always kind of low-key been into it, but now I had the maturity and the patience to go really do my research and really find out what I like, what I don't like.
I got you.
And what I agree with, what I don't agree with, mm-hmm. and what has been taught to me in these public white institutions, which has been incorrect, and what mm-hmm. actually happened.
Right.
So now, once I did that research, I sat down and thought to myself, do I want to continue another 4 years of my career or my educational career at an institution that doesn't care about me, mm-hmm. teaches me incorrect facts,
right,
and just matter of fact, just doesn't represent me as a person,
right.
So once that answer was hell no, mm-hmm. so I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I just don't. So from there, I was like, all right, HBCU, and I actually wasn't familiar with HBCUs up until my junior year.
Really,
it was never talked about in my house. It
mm-hmm.
just wasn't. I'm Nigerian, but it was just never brought up.
Mm-hmm.
My one friend mentioned it in passing, and I was like, yo, then. There was at my school they offered randomly on a program because junior year and senior year I'm very intuitive. I'll look into stick my nose into places that I shouldn't, mm-hmm. and not in a bad way. They weren't offering, my school wasn't promoting this, but there was a trip to Howard, different HBCUs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But nobody promoted it. Only through hounding my guidance counselor, hounding this lady, hounding that man without even find out about the opportunity. It was free too. You can just go to DC for a day. And I was like, dang, nobody told me about that. So long story short, I signed up for that trip with my homeboy Niall. We came to Howard. Quite frankly, the trip was horrible. Howard, I got here, this person who gave us our tour, like we waited for like an hour just to get our tour. The person who gave us our tour gave us a 20-minute tour. And
really?
it took us 3 hours to get here with traffic and all that. So it was a bad experience. But I still like, you feel the energy. I was like, yo, the campus, I was seeing all these black people, black men, black women. I was just like, dang, like, I had never, like, I'm not from like an OD white part of Delaware, but like, it was like this many black people. And they all looked put together. It wasn't like I'm seeing some black people missing too. No, it's like I'm seeing some black people in a suit. I'm seeing some people chilling in some joggers, but still looking like, haircut, looking good, looking like themselves. Seeing black women with afros out, braids down, you know what I mean? So I got that experience, but because of my bad tour, initially I X'd out Howard. So then senior year comes around. Of course I applied to Howard, but my first choice was Morehouse. And I was like, then as time went on, I was just like, I don't really want to be in Atlanta. DC, I've always heard so many good things about DC. Howard. Like, my mom was set on Howard. Like, once I got into Howard, she was set on it. I was set on Howard, too, by that time. So eventually, it was just, like, between Morehouse and Howard. And I chose Howard because the location, just DC, I felt like I could really thrive in DC. And everybody I talked to, like, you love Atlanta, too, but DC...
DC is definitely...
Yeah, DC is just different.
Beautiful city, for sure.
Beautiful. Chocolate city, like...
Facts. Yeah, so did you have any, like, other family members who attended Howard?
Well, my father actually did, like, medical school at Howard for some point, but then he had to leave because they were messing up his papers. You know how Howard gets something. Right. Yeah, so he did attend Howard for quite some time, but then he left. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So have you always lived in Delaware, or did you grow up a little bit in, like, you said Nigeria, right?
So I was born in Chester, PA. Didn't live there. Moved to California, like, as soon as I was born. So I was in California up until 4th grade. I frequented California like for years, up until like 3 years ago.
Right.
But I was like did schooling in Delaware.
Okay.
I've only visited Nigeria once, but I still feel like I'm very in tune with my culture because I grew up. Both my parents are Nigerian, even though they're like weren't together. They're both Nigerian. Both pushed that into me. I ate Nigerian food. My relatives are Nigerian. So although I didn't live there ever, I've never lived there. I definitely feel like I'm not just as Nigerian as the next guy.
No, I got you. So what was it like? I guess growing up in a Nigerian household in like American culture. Like how was that for you?
So both my parents, I feel like, are very assimilated. Like they had been here for a while. Like they did college here. It's not like they're like mad new here. So they did college here, and I feel like it was good. Like I know people make jokes about African household and stuff, but I have locks. My ears are pierced. I don't have tattoos, but like my household, and I lived with my mom. My dad, maybe it wouldn't have gone this way, but I don't know. It was really cool. Like I know people act like African households are mad toxic, but I just didn't feel like mine was. Of course, there was aspects where I was like, yo, this is kind of wild. But I feel like it's any family dynamic.
Right,
you're like, yo, you're kind of bugging out with me. But yeah, my household, especially living with my mom, it was very like conversational. You know what I mean? This is how I feel. Because I'm not somebody you can just be like, do this and I'm going to do it. Right. You have to make it logical for me me to accept it. So I feel like my mom didn't go the quote unquote stereotypical African route, but she was very communicative, did a lot of talking to make me understand. That's the reason I don't have a tattoo yet.
I got you.
Yeah.
So adding on to like your parents, you know what I'm saying? Who inspires you? You know what I'm saying? It can be a historical figure, it can be your parents, it's anybody. Like who do you think you get your inspiration from? It can even be yourself. I don't know.
Honestly, I know this is going to sound like the most narcissistic thing, but who inspires me, I have to say myself. Only because I know how far, like, even though I haven't done nothing yet. Like, I'm just getting started type tip. Like, nothing's happened in my life for me to, like, you know what I mean? Badge of honor or anything. But I know from the point where I made the decision of, I've always been driven. I've always been passionate. I've always been smart. But I know, like, I remember the time, like, the year I made the point to, like, yo, I'm about to be different. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it different. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be so successful. It's going to be crazy. And I remember, like, when I started making that decision, that's, like, how far I've come from who I once was to who I am now. And I can already see who I'm becoming. I'm nowhere close to the end point, but I can see it. So that's why I could genuinely say I inspire myself, because I just know how much I've worked on, I've worked on my soft skills, like even interacting with people, being able to hold a conversation, being polite in the conversation, not being rude, just the way I carry myself in even class. I used to be hyper, used to just not be able to sit still kind of hyper, but like, you know, more mature about it. Little things, the way I interact with women, I've been able to, like, you know, mature in that sense. I know how to speak to them now. I know how, like, You know what I mean?
I got
Just
you.
yeah, I've definitely just matured. This like real skills. I've learned photography. I know how to do like Adobe Creative Cloud. Just little thing. Just school. Like where we at? We at Howard. Everybody here who's at Howard who's made it here, I feel like they should be damn proud of themselves.
Nah, I really like that answer. So tell me more about like that journey. Like whenever you made that decision to be, different, what was that journey going from where you started to now?
Okay. So ninth grade. So in middle school, like I was never somebody who got into OD trouble. I was always somebody who like put a foot in, put a foot out. You know what I mean? Like a little bit. Let me act out this one day. Once they call home, I'm done for like a week or like 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
But never got suspended, never got expelled.
Right.
Nothing crazy. But definitely, my issue was more talkative. Just used to run my mouth.
Right.
Once in a while, getting a fight. But like, I was an OD bad kid. But in ninth grade, I was like, ninth grade, my first semester of high school. Do you want the long version? Because I can talk. Or you want?
Okay, now keep it condensed.
All right, condensed.
Give me the spark notes.
All right, bet. Spark notes. Yeah. All right, got you. Ninth grade, boom. I carried the same behavior I had in middle school to ninth grade. In my first semester or whatever, marking period is different here. Marking period. After that, I was like, yeah, I'm getting older now. Like, it's just not even cool. It's not cute no more. Like, I know other people were doing it. My peers were doing it. I said, this is not me. This is not what I want to do. Made the decision. From then on, I kind of didn't get in trouble anymore. Like, just mentally, I just was done with it, over it. So I made that decision. I was like, yo, from that day on, I was like, yo, I'm going to grow. So since that day, I've been very introspective, been very, like, every day after a day, I just kind of sit to myself, review, like, yo, what could I have done better? Who could I have possibly offended throughout the day who I didn't mean to offend? Like, of course, once in a while you get into a confrontation where you're like, your intentions are to offend somebody. But like, who did I unintentionally hurt their feelings? You know what I mean? And sometimes it can't be helped, but if you just can be aware of it, at least I know, how does this person feel about me? So once I became more conscious of myself, more self-aware, I started thinking before I speak, which used to be a big issue. My dad actually drilled that into me. Because I used to just like, you say something, I'm speaking. Like, wouldn't even process what you say, I'm already talking. Now I kind of like filter myself a little bit. Just so that journey, and I saw it progressively. I made mistakes. Lord knows I made mistakes. So, you know what I mean? Have some relationships that are not repairable because of the mistakes I've made. But that's all part of the some corny Instagram quote. Said like, growth is not linear. You know what I mean? I've gone up thinking, oh, okay, I'm really getting to where I want to be, dropped all the way to rock bottom. So yeah, it's been a journey, but it's been a beautiful one. Like I'm the man who I am right now because of that journey, and I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Nah, I really like that answer. You know what I'm saying? I feel like life is gonna take those trials and tribulations to like get to the point where you are, and then even more trial and error to even get to the point where you want to be. Like you said, you see yourself being very successful, and obviously that getting to that route is not gonna be linear. So I really like how you've gone along that journey. It's gonna really help you moving forward, man. So my next question for you, because you speak about like introspection, right? So what book have you read that's like really, I guess, inspired your, that had like a big impact on your life?
Okay. This one's easy. So last year, freshman year at Howard, boom. I don't even know how I picked up. Oh, I know how I got this book. So 48 Laws of Power by I'm forgetting. You read it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm forgetting who it's by. But yeah, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. That's a good book. It's a good book.
48 Laws of Power, mad good book. And it's the way it's told, like it's very informative, but the way it's like, so for all my young men, young ladies, like it's very informative, but the way it's given to you, it's like very digestible. Like they put it in story, you just get lost in the book. But anyway, I got into it because I had always heard references like in movies and stuff, 48 Laws of Power, 48 Laws of Power. I was like, all right, I'm 18 now. What the hell? Let me go read the book.
Right.
Bought the book. It took me like a year to finish it. And I read books fast, but that was a book like I would read it, then I really think on it, practice the skills that was taught, then go back into it, read another chapter. So that book, like after reading the whole book, my main, like there are 48 laws in that book, but the main consensus, the conclusion I came to was that you just need to kind of think before you do anything, like, and humble yourself. Because in each of those laws that were taught in that book, the downfall of each person when they like met their lowest was because they were too arrogant. They were too, what's the word? Impulsive. Like they didn't sit down. If they would have just taken like 2 seconds, sat down and thought a little bit instead of boasting or bragging or being so quick to speak, the first one to talk, a lot of the problems they could have avoided. So I got into that book, and that book really formed my like way of thinking. Like I was already gradually on that path, but that book definitely like put it in stone. You know what I mean?
Nah, definitely. That's a book. That's the type of book that like you need to read like multiple times, really, to really understand what it's really trying to bring across. Because each time I've read that book, I've gained a new perspective each time I read it. And I would definitely, like you said, I would definitely encourage anybody, men, women, anybody. You know what I'm saying? Definitely read 48 Laws of Power. It's a very inspirational book, and you can definitely get a lot of wisdom from that. So my next question for you, man. I don't want to make it like too long, but
Yeah.
kind of to close it out. What do you want your legacy to be?
Okay, I got this. All right, so legacy. Again, I want to be successful. When I say that, I mean monetary wise. Obviously, that's just a given, right? I want to be comfortable with my money. I want to pass it down to children. But anyway, legacy, like I have two parts to this. I'll do the first part. I want to build a family. Like, you know who the Wayans are?
Yeah.
You know how they got everybody in that family
Successful.
is doing something. Like even the lowest keys, you're like, Jesus Christ. Even I know rough topics, the Smith family, right? I know what they're going through right now. But there's anybody with that last name who came from Will, the Smith, who came from Will and Jada. I don't know about his previous son, his first son,
right?
But I know about. Look at Jaden Smith. You can say he sucks as a rapper. You can say he sucks, but I think that man is so interesting. Look at Willow Smith. You can say you hate her music. I personally don't. I enjoy it. She's doing something. And they're not doing basic stuff. Will Smith himself, Jada Pinkett, you don't even got to talk about them. We know their resumes. You know what I mean? So, like, some like the Wayans or the Smiths, like, I want to build generational, like, yo, last name, if you had that last name, Egu, and you came from that man, Obilo Ainai Egu II, you're your son. Like, it's just a given. You know what I mean? So really much, like, I pass education down to my kids. Certain things that my parents didn't know, I want to know and pass it down to my kids. I want to give my kids a head start, but I still want my kids to be hustlers. So that's like, I just want to build a foundation. I'm the foundation. I'm trying to build myself to be strong as hell, to be able to carry the weight of what I want to do. So strong as hell, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Like, you know what I mean? It's a triangle. You got to match all three. Second point, legacy. I just want to be known. Like, let's say all else fails, right? All else fails. You never know. Life is very, things happen. All else fails. I just want to be known as somebody who anybody he interacted with, for the most part, of course, there's going to be the few standalones, but for the most part, anybody that man Obilo interacted with, he was able to touch them in a way that inspired them, that changed their life. Even if it was just a little, I smiled at you one day, and that smile was what stopped you from killing yourself or something, or doing something self-destructive, boom. If it's even like, yo, we sat down and had this conversation, something I said in this long rambling speech I've been doing, touch your heart and touch your soul, and you're like, yo, that man Obilo, no. Him and I we didn't used to kick it like that. We didn't hang out or nothing. But when he would talk, certain things I would listen. Because certain things he would say would just inspire me to go do better, or go try something. Or maybe not even to do better, just get up from where the point I am in my life. I just want to be known as somebody, anybody I've touched, I've changed, I was impactful to. Even some people I've done harm to, not whether intentionally or unintentionally. Okay, yes, I did not do right by you in the best way possible. But your interaction with me, you were able to see something in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was some benefit. Like, look, there was some benefit from our connection, our interaction, our relationship. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the kind of man I want to be.
That's beautiful, man. I feel inspired, bro.
Appreciate you.
Nah, for real, I like that. But once again, guys, that was the video for today. This was the 50 questions with a Howard University student. I want to once again thank my guy Obilo. That's right, Obilo.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Obilo for doing this video with me. It's a video for today, guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Peace. Appreciate you, man.